In feudal Japan, where cherry blossoms fall like snow and the way of the sword ruled the land, there lived stories that cut deeper than any blade. Tonight, we share one such story, a tale so simple it can be told in minutes, yet so profound it has echoed through centuries. This is the story of a samurai warrior who sought to understand heaven and hell, and a Zen monk who showed him something far more important: the truth of this very moment. Let the sounds around you fade, let your breathing slow. We journey now to ancient Japan, to a small monastery nestled in the mountains, where wisdom wore the simplest robes. Let us begin. His name was Nobushige, a samurai of considerable rank, a warrior who had faced death 100 times on the battlefield. He wore 2 swords, the katana and the wakizashi, as was the custom of his class. His hands bore scars from years of training. His eyes had seen men die. He himself had killed. But for all his skill with the blade, for all his understanding of strategy and combat, there was something Nobushige did not understand: heaven and hell. He had heard monks speak of these realms. He had heard priests describe the Pure Land, where good souls go, and the burning realms where evil ones suffer. But these were just words to him, abstractions. He wanted to know, with the same certainty he knew the weight of his sword, the feeling of steel cutting through air. So Nobushige did what samurai rarely did. He set aside his pride. He left his position, his attendants, his authority, and he traveled to a remote mountain monastery where a Zen master named Hakuin lived. Hakuin was not a large man. He was not physically imposing. He owned nothing but his robes and his begging bowl. Yet his reputation had spread across Japan. Here was a monk who spoke truth without decoration, who cut through illusion as cleanly as any samurai cut through flesh. Nobushige arrived at the monastery gates in full armor, his swords at his side. The other monks bowed respectfully. One did not disrespect an armed samurai, no matter how peaceful one's intentions. He was led to a simple room where Hakuin sat in meditation. The master did not rise, did not bow. He simply opened his eyes and looked at the warrior. Nobushige felt something stir within him. Was this disrespect? Should he be offended? But he had come for wisdom, so he swallowed his pride and spoke. "Master Hakuin, I have come to ask you about heaven and hell. I have faced death many times, but I do not understand these realms. Are they real? Where are they? What are they? I must know before I die." It was a sincere question, a human question, the question of a man who had lived with violence and wanted to understand what lay beyond it. Hakuin looked at him for a long moment. Then he spoke. You want to know about heaven and hell?" The warrior nodded. The monk's face changed. A sneer appeared on his lips. "Look at you," Hakuin said, his voice dripping with contempt. "A brutish warrior, smelling of horse and sweat. Your hands are stained with blood. Your mind is dulled by violence. You think someone like you can understand the subtleties of heaven and hell?" Nobushige's face flushed, his jaw tightened. Hakuin continued, his words like whips. "You're nothing but a crude killer. You have no refinement, no intelligence, no spiritual capacity whatsoever. You come here with your swords and your armor, pretending to seek wisdom, but you're just a dumb animal. I wouldn't waste my words on someone like you, even if I had all day." The other monks in the room froze. They knew what was happening, but dared not intervene. Nobushige's hand moved to his sword, his fingers wrapped around the handle. Years of training took over. The insult was unbearable, unforgivable. This monk had humiliated him, questioned his honor, called him an animal. In the samurai code, such an insult could only be answered one way. His sword began to slide from its sheath. The distinctive sound, shing, of steel against scabbard filled the room. Nobushige's face was contorted with rage. His eyes burned. Every muscle in his body tensed for the killing strike. In one motion, he would cut this arrogant monk in half. How dare he? And then Hakuin spoke, very quietly. "That is hell." Time seemed to stop. The sword, halfway drawn, froze in place. Nobushige's eyes widened. "That is hell." In an instant, less than an instant, he saw it. The burning rage that consumed him, the tightness in his chest, the tunnel vision, the murderous intent, the complete loss of his true self to anger and ego, the readiness to kill an unarmed monk because of wounded pride. This was hell, not some distant realm reached after death, not a place of fire and demons in some other dimension. Hell was here, now, in his own heart, in this very moment. It was the state of being consumed by anger, hatred, and delusion. It was the loss of clarity, peace, and wisdom. It was the moment when ego became so inflamed that it would destroy anything, even at the cost of one's own honor and humanity. He saw it all in a flash of recognition so clear, it was like being struck by lightning. And in that same instant, something released. The rage drained away like water through open fingers. The tension in his body dissolved. His true nature, calm, clear, aware, emerged from beneath the storm of emotion. Nobushige's hand released the sword. It slid back into its sheath with a soft click. He looked at Hakuin with new eyes, eyes wet with tears. And then he did something he had not done since childhood. He bowed, not the formal bow of a samurai to a social superior, but the deep bow of a student who has received a profound teaching, a bow of genuine gratitude. He pressed his forehead to the floor. When he looked up, Hakuin was smiling, not with mockery now, but with warmth. The master spoke again, his voice gentle. "And that is heaven." Let us pause here and look deeper at what happened in that room. Hakuin had not lectured Nobushige about heaven and hell. He had not quoted scriptures or drawn diagrams or told philosophical stories. He had done something far more direct, far more dangerous, and far more effective. He had shown him. By deliberately provoking the samurai's rage, Hakuin created hell right there in the room. He made it tangible, immediate, undeniable. Nobushige didn't learn about hell. He experienced it. He fell into it completely. And by naming it at the precise moment of recognition, Hakuin opened a door. The simple words, "That is hell," created a sudden space of awareness. Nobushige was able to see his own state from outside it, to recognize it for what it was. This recognition itself was the beginning of heaven. Not heaven as a reward in some afterlife, but heaven as the state of clarity, peace, and freedom that arises when we see through our own delusions. When Nobushige's anger dissolved and gratitude arose, when his ego relaxed and his true nature shined through, that was heaven. Not because angels were singing or because he had been transported somewhere else, but because he had returned to his original mind, unclouded by hatred. The teaching is this: heaven and hell are not destinations. They are states of mind. They are here, now, available in every moment. When we are consumed by anger, jealousy, hatred, greed, or fear, we are in hell. It doesn't matter if we're sitting in a palace or a prison cell. Hell is the internal state of suffering caused by these mental poisons. When we are free from these poisons, when we rest in clarity and peace and compassion, we are in heaven. Even if our external circumstances are difficult, even if we're sitting in a simple monastery with nothing but a begging bowl. The samurai had been looking for heaven and hell outside himself, in some cosmic realm, some afterlife destination. Hakuin showed him they were never anywhere but in his own heart. But there is something even deeper in this story. Notice what Hakuin risked. He deliberately provoked an armed, trained killer. He insulted a man who could legally execute him for such disrespect. He created a situation where he might actually die. Why? Because true teaching sometimes requires this level of commitment. Hakuin saw that Nobushige was sincere. He saw that the warrior was ready, not for more words, but for direct experience. So he gave him that experience, regardless of the personal cost. This is the essence of Zen teaching: direct pointing to the truth, without decoration or safety. Notice also Nobushige's transformation. In one moment, he went from blind rage to profound gratitude. This is possible because underneath all our conditioned reactions, our anger, our pride, our ego, there is an original nature that is already clear, already peaceful, already free. The work is not to create something new. It's to recognize what's already here when we stop adding the extra layers of judgment, hatred, and grasping. Nobushige discovered that he carried both heaven and hell within him at all times. The question was not which destination he would reach after death. The question was, which one would he choose in this moment, and this moment, and this moment? Every time we meet anger with awareness rather than reaction, we choose heaven. Every time we meet injury with compassion rather than revenge, we choose heaven. Every time we let go of ego and return to our true nature, we choose heaven. And every time we do the opposite, we choose hell. The gates are always open. We walk through them 1,000 times a day. The story says that Nobushige became Hakuin's student after this encounter. The fierce warrior learned gentleness. The man trained to kill learned the art of letting die the false self, the ego, the endless demands of pride and anger. He carried his swords until the end of his life, as was his duty, but he never drew them in anger again. When he looked at his blade, he saw not just a weapon, but a reminder. This is hell. This is heaven. As you drift towards sleep tonight, perhaps you can carry this story with you. Notice the small hells you create during your day, the the moments of irritation, frustration, anger. Not to judge them, but simply to see them. This is hell. And notice the small heavens, the moments of clarity, peace, kindness, letting go. This is heaven. The gates are not locked. They never were. You carry the key in your own awareness. May you choose wisely. May you rest peacefully. And may you wake to the heaven that was always here, waiting beneath the noise.